All right, what slide are we on?
All right, slide 1.
Okay.
Today is March. Okay. We'll kind of keep this real quick. I just wanted to go over our data that we put together from our mains and alts. Obviously, we have a lot more people than we want to hopefully have back, and we obviously have a lot more that we want to try to get a hold of, and then should be good. But we have a pretty strong foundation, at least, for knowing what we who wants to do what.
Yeah, we're in a good spot.
Yeah. Alright, so we'll start on slide 3, which is our main.
What?
Slide 3.
What about 2?
Okay. Oh. Alright, 2 is the itinerary. You can just read that.
I would like if you could.
Okay. Today we're gonna cover mains, alts, our commitment, help in time zone, and then our Twitter.
Wait, can you talk like Severus Snape?
Severus Snape.
I want you to
Harry
talk
Potter.
like Severus Snape for the next slide.
Snape.
I prefer Sean Connery.
Severus Snape.
Well, you'll just have to pick a different slide.
Alright, so that was a really good slide. Slide
Arnold
3?
Schwarzenegger, please.
Sean Connery.
Oh, crikey! I got
Oh god, slide 3?
dump in my pants. I don't know who I'm talking like.
Here we go.
Talking like Pronator,
I'm at
that's who you're
slide 3
talking
now,
about.
let's meet everyone
Alright,
else
slide
there.
3. Meet you there. Alright, here is the list of, if you filled out our mains and alts thing ever, you're on this list. If you put down that you're 100% sure of a class or 50% or whatever. Some people have hey, I'm 100% sure of this class, yet put themselves down for 50% for other classes as well. So I don't know how that works exactly. I'm assuming you're saying
150%?
Yeah, I'm assuming what you mean is you want to play that, but if it's really over full, you would play this other class or whatever, which is good.
Or what if you're trying to main too?
Yeah.
Then you're not allowed, and we're gonna paddle you.
Message received.
Only
Okay.
man and man bank can do that.
And trigger, and trigger.
Will the panel have nails?
Okay, beautiful. So is this stuff on here? This is the up-to-date one, right?
Yeah. Now some of these
Message
people
received.
we haven't heard from in a long time, a year, 2 years.
Yeah, like Carissa,
Yeah. No.
Danny,
No, they're.
who doesn't want to play Atlas with me. Continue, sorry.
That's what I was asking Gits about. Big boy.
What's
Be a
that?
pirate.
Oh, big boy, I had a question. Sorry to tangent here. Are you playing warrior or are you gonna play priest?
I'll literally do whatever. I had fun doing both.
Okay, just make sure you have an alt priest that you can do together.
No, I literally, I put in the thing, I don't care which one my main is, and my first alt will probably be the other.
Okay. As we can see, there are, in the 100% mains for sure thing, the DPS warrior and the rogue category is, already, I would say, full. Not saying that it is actually full, but just,
Again, this is where I didn't want to necessarily say it's full, because
that's why it's not full.
Timster already said he's gonna have to be casual because of his work.
Can we casually remove Liftsha from the list?
Please. I was
Yeah,
thinking the same.
that'll probably casually happen. I know Pro mentioned at the beginning that there's some people in here that we would make executive decisions, whether we even want them playing with us in the future or if they just kind
If
of
they
keep
aren't
showing up.
meshing with us, even if they're great, I mean, the main reason that for this entire thing is we want to make sure we're having fun. If someone's bringing us down or being douchebags, we kind of went through that on Nost, and it was not very fun to go through.
We also just want other people to go through that either this time going forward. Some people have dealt with some stuff they shouldn't have to deal with, and we're trying to minimize that.
But realistically, you're not gonna be friends with 40 other people.
Yeah, totally true. You're
best
always
friends
gonna
with
have
40
problems.
other people. So.
But if we can keep it
if no one
Canadians
likes that
will.
person, then
yeah, the Canadians will.
it's a
That's
pretty
true.
good sign.
But if we can try and keep it civil as much as possible, or at least get it to the point where people can just like at least stomach being in the same raid with everybody, that'd be key. That would really be good. I'm actually pretty much looking at these lists now. I really like all the names I'm seeing. There's nothing really super standing out. I know you guys had problems with Lifsha. I personally never had problems with Lifsha. I didn't get to read road chat, or I wasn't listening to guild chat most of the time either. So I'm sure he was a lot worse to other people. So if there's a serious like I know some people are just saying it just for fun, but if there's an actual serious issue with people, we'll definitely make sure that those people don't return to Classic if there's a big group of people that have an issue with this particular person.
He just didn't give a shit about the guild.
He told me I never knew what it's like to been good.
Yeah, things like that. But he was just like,
Hey, when he wanted to be a rogue tank, he won me over right there.
I don't know. Just for me, because all I do is I just looked at like round players and stuff. Whatever. I was just looking at numbers. Like his numbers always look decent, but then I'd look at some fights and I notice he's not doing, or he'd be padding or doing things improper just to pad the numbers. And sure. So like for sure, if there's problems with certain people, we'll talk about those things.
In a half, I don't know if he was drunk or not. Super complaining that why do human rogues get prio on certain weapons and night elf rogues don't get any prio because they start with 8 more agility than everybody else? Why aren't daggers a prio for them?
Right. Yeah. And so I don't really like the trolling thing.
Needed anger.
I do want people like I know a lot of us. It's gonna be harder to take Classic like super mega like fresh serious, like as if you've never seen the content before. You have to take it all serious, but I kind of want to have that stance because obviously we're probably not going to have a 40-man guild of just people we know going right into it. We're probably going to be bringing on new players, and I want those people to come into the guild and have respect for the guild and want to do well, and if we put in a good example for them, it'll be better. But if people come in with attitudes and problems right off the hop, I think it's going to cause more issues down the road with new players, things like that. So probably nip that in the bud immediately and just get rid of those kind of people so that we go in with same state of mind and people just common goal just to complete content and be, because I want to be one of the top guilds, if not the top guild on our respective server, wherever we pick. I don't really want to be a guild that says, oh, like, Nope's out there doing this or doing something. Like, I want to be the Nope guild. I want to be the guild that goes in there doing the world bosses, has respect when they're seen out in the world and stuff. Kind of how it was back in the original Classic when, you know, true server identities and stuff. So that's my main.
Yeah.
I agree.
So exciting stuff. If you haven't filled this out, you should definitely fill it out. I think everyone here pretty much has, so.
I'm surprised we didn't do a main profession list as well.
Yeah, that's coming.
That's actually on the to-do list.
Yeah, that's definitely
Stay
coming up.
tuned.
The hardest thing for us is just to make sure that we're not having, 10 people like we had on, I think it was K2 or K3. One of our servers, like literally 10 people were like, I want to be a tank. And then on our BC server, we had like 5 or 6 tanks for a 2-tank guild thing. So we just kind of want to hammer that stuff out first, and then we'll do the more nitty-gritty professions.
So question, so
Go, Banny.
if we have someone that may not affect positively to the guild, like should we contact whoever or?
Yeah, like if you think there's an issue, so we'll get everyone to vote on this later if people agree, but I'm pretty much going to take the stance of human resources or, whatever you guys call it. If people have problems, I want them to come to me first when it comes in Classic. If anyone has an issue, you can privately talk to me. And then I'm going to address any issues right away. So if somebody has a problem with a certain player, I'm going to listen to both people's sides of whatever, and I'm going to address it immediately. It may be awkward for somebody if they don't like hammering out their issues, but that's what's going to happen. I'll mediate whatever, but that's what I want to be done immediately. If anyone has a problem, I want to be notified about it. I want to address it, and I want to squash it immediately. And if it can't be resolved, I want there to be resolved somehow, if it means that a player needs to be removed or whatever, discipline, whatever. I want that to be done, and I want people to know that they can talk to me confidentially. And if the problem is about me, I'd like you to go to Pro and talk to Pro about it. Like if you have an issue with something I'm doing that you don't feel you can specifically talk to me about, then I want you to go to Pro, and then Pro will address me, and then we'll figure out a way that we can talk about it that doesn't make the person feel awkward or whatever. But
yeah, so just come to me, Bannies, since I know your issue.
Yeah, the issue's with me, Vanny. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you need to get some enchants and not
But
see
yeah, 200
these
health
enchants.
really killed that stuff.
Bro,
But yeah, I really do want people to know that they can come talk to me, and I'm not gonna belittle them. I will take whatever they say to heart and make sure that we find some sort of way to work it out.
bro, Mike's not taking my heals correctly.
Yeah, I have
our
a
heals keep
fucking
missing.
negative heal. I have a holy res.
He needs more spell hit gear.
Alright.
Anyways, but yeah, so Vanny, for sure, if there's an issue, bring that issue up, state it clearly what the issue is, who the person is, and we'll try our best to rectify that pretty much immediately.
Yeah, I know in the past we've had some, like, a lot of this backdoor, like, I don't like this person, or I don't like how he did this, or how she did that. I think it'd be better in the long run if we just try to make sure everything is on the table earlier.
And from a rating standpoint, in Classic, I don't know how people are familiar with retail WoW, but there's a thing called World of Logs. I don't know if anyone knows about this, but basically World of Logs is the in-raid argument decider. So World of Logs will log every single thing somebody does, right down to their exact time they used every single ability, exactly showing me the spot that they were standing at when they died or whatever they were standing. So there won't be that kind of issue in raid. So if there's any outside raid issues, then yeah, we'll definitely look to address that. But inside raid, I'm pretty much going to have it set so that there's no way for you to basically try and argue anything, because it's the logs will just show it all. If you say I didn't do this, I'll show you did. If you say like you were decursing, I'll show you didn't. Like the logs will show everything. So in raid, you're not gonna have to worry about those inner raid, like inner class qualms, like not getting pally buffs, not getting mage buffs that are things after you die, things like that, because it'll all be logged. You'll be able to show that this person never casted a single thing the entire night, never buffed this, or only buffed 4 times, or all that kind of stuff. So that kind of stuff we'll be able to address, on the fly immediately. But any outside of raid stuff, yeah, that's the stuff I'm mostly referring to for myself.
I hope I have time to play. I really do. I'm gonna try my fucking best to make sure that I'm here the entire time.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Alright, let's go to alts, because this is fun.
Alright, on to the alts. So,
everyone look at that 50 to 85% sure Warlock Mage list.
Yeah. And a lot of this might be like you're thinking, well, I need a Warlock for a Summoner. Which isn't really like an alt, it's more like a, hey, I'm going to get him to 20 or 30 or whatever, and
ideally, I'd really like it if almost everyone had a level 20 Warlock. Like, that should just be kind of a thing people just have. They're so easy to create.
That's what we should actually make. We should make an alt, one of these for the alts and one of these for just like, are you going to have a mage and a warlock for summons and portals? Because that's what I'm definitely planning on, but they're not going to be prio other than that.
Yeah, I took this list as your actual alt that you're going to play. That's why I have myself in Warlock Mages and stuff. So it's sort of, I actually want to have multiple alts so that if the alt raid, which we were going to be taking very seriously, the alt raid is going to be basically a main raid. It's going to be used for gearing people up, trying new strats, and also if people can't get into the main raid, they're going to initially be put right into those and get prio. Like if they're a raider or whatever, they'll get prio in the alt raids and stuff, just so we keep the gear flowing. And then also with the Thunder Fury, me and Pro will probably be, once both raids are established, we'll probably be swapping between the 2 raids so that we have double chances of the Thunder Fury every week and things like that. But the alt raid, as it was on Nost, and anything that's going to be taken just as serious as the main raid is. Sure, it's more lax and more fun in the alt raid, but it's still, we're expected to kill bosses, expected to be consumed and treated just like your main would be.
For your alt warlocks, I would definitely recommend having tailoring alchemy for transmutes and mooncloth cooldowns.
yeah, there's definitely no doubt that a lot of us are going to want to have multiple level 35 alts for professions like that.
Plan on dual boxing a pair. Have 4 of them.
Okay. Is there any questions about the alts or the mains from anybody? Oh, anything so far?
The next slide is the cool one.
Okay, next slide.
Yeah, it is. So this is a slide of basically every one that filled this out, what their how certain they are that they want to do the main and alts and all that. So it's kind of busy, but it's also there's a lot of information here.
My favorite part about this is the last contact part. If anybody does know any of the people that are in red, yellow, or orange and know how to contact any of these people, please, by all means, do so.
Viral was in TeamSpeak within the last
Yeah, Viral's
week.
in a couple days. We know Viral for sure is definitely wanting to play and he's looking to buy his PC, so that's not such a big deal. You can definitely put Viral to screen. He's in the other day.
I'm glad. That'd be cool.
Steam.
I would love to see Finley come back.
Yeah, Murd.
And Targaryen.
Yeah, there's a few names that we definitely
want to hold the Targaryen.
Yeah, I have him on Steam as well. I can get a hold of Targaryen.
Mayor is one that I really.
Oh, I would love to get Mayor back as well. Yeah.
Was with us for a long time, then just kind of.
Yeah, for the TBC thing.
But yeah, if you know how to get a hold of these people, and just if you do,
I can get a hold
let
of
me know.
Yeah, I can message Civic and Jilly too. Yeah.
See what their plan is. Like, I know some people are like, yeah, I want to come back, but I also like Acidic and Jilly. I don't know, like if their schedules are perfect for like doing hardcore or what. So it'd be just nice to know, like, hey, I'm still interested, but I know I'm gonna be like semi-casual. Or
yeah, and that's what the alt raid's gonna be for.
Yeah.
Anyone that's casual but still wants to be part of the guild will make sure that they have a raiding spot in the alt raid. But anybody that wants to come into classic casual, please do not get it. Like, expect a main raid spot. That's just not fair to the other players.
Can we get that boom chicken back from us? Remember him?
Sorry, what?
The boom chicken?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, he's not on the list.
Yeah, he's not on the list.
We should really try and reach out and find him.
Shrillex would be cool to get back.
What, Papa Blaze?
Yeah, I said Shrillex would be cool.
That's who it was.
Oh, Papa Blaze.
Yes.
Alright, slide number 6. We got some fucking graph thing going on here.
Yeah, so this is again what we voted on, just our level of commitment. Basically, we're saying, yeah, we're all in pretty much, which is what you'd expect. I did kind of want to point out, like, the pinkish looking slide that says, yes, I'll donate everything possible. Like, I know that that's not really realistic, especially early on, because like you need to get your mounts, you need to get your gear, you need to get your stuff like for BOEs and all sorts of stuff like that. But I was thinking, like, for like something that we could do, which would be great for the long run, is if we do have some sort of like minimum required like weekly thing or monthly thing or whatever we decide on, where you might give like a tiny bit and then you're like, hey, it's only like 5 gold or 10 gold or whatever it is that it amounts to. And then, but whenever you have like 50 people giving that every week, all of a sudden, like, that's buying stuff like super early on. Like, a prime example is, like, we know Elemental Earth is always super cheap early on, right? Well, if we had like a decent stockpile like right away of gold, we could buy, thousands of them for, a couple hundred gold or something.
Also, I want, like, I know this might sound weird to some classes, but like people that don't necessarily have super expensive pieces such as Devil Sword and things like that, like, I want them helping farming. Like, I want the whole guild to provide things like that, like Devil Sword and a lot of the BOEs that are required as pre-raid best. Like, a lot of that stuff we can easily farm. Like, if we held down Ungoro for a single night, we could provide everyone in the guild with their Devil Sword sets, and that would save hundreds of gold depending on economy on the servers. They may not be as inflated or as broken as they have been on private servers, but regardless,
you can also do it
like,
while you're leveling too, right?
Sure,
like,
while you're
if
leveling.
Most people
but
are like, if you're doing in pairs, like, I don't know how many people are actually going to level in pairs, but you get to the point where you hit 50 something and you're like, hey, let's go and Goro. Most of those quests are kill quests. You'd be like, hey,
Yeah.
let's 2 of us can kill 1 Devil Sword, no fucking problem, right?
For
so
sure.
you could just
I also just don't want people to feel like they have to do it on their own. Like, I really, like, there's no point in being in a guild if everyone wants to play a solo game. Like, everyone can be helping everyone, and all it does is benefit the guild. If every rogue and every hunter and every warrior DPS shows up in full pre-raid best because everyone helped, it only helps everyone out. Especially with the way content is going to be at the beginning. With it being 1.12, there is a lot of expensive pieces really early that are going to be out almost immediately just because it being 1.12, unless they do some sort of gating of certain content. Like some stuff is just going to be like for tanks, especially like force reactive discs should be out immediately. Sorry, was that?
I was saying, like, even like Titanic leggings might be out immediately.
Yeah, Titanic leggings, force reactive discs. There's going to be things that are going to be costing individual players thousands of gold to do on their own. Again, that's just me just picking a number based off of previous server economies, but it's a lot to put on somebody as a quick burnout when there's some players that require next to zero other than just, you know, dungeon farming, where if we all work together and just provide for everyone, it'll feel so much better. Like Pro saying, the simple donations over time. Yes, it may not directly, I know one person's comment doesn't matter, but it just says like, you know, I'm not planning on using much from the guild bank and I don't plan to put much in it, but like, that's fine attitude to have, but it's a terrible real attitude to have in a guild stance, because regardless of what you may or may not use, if somebody else could have used what you helped out with and that helped us kill a boss, like that directly just helps the guild, and everything just directly helps. So having more of a not one, or not just a me mentality, but a we mentality, like how can we help the whole guild, like that would be our success. If we play a solo game, we will fail, but if we play if we really look at this as a guild, this is the last final guild, there's no server to go to after this is it, like why not put the best effort we can in and just be the absolute best guild we can be. Like, you look at the Nope, the Dream States, and all that, there's not a selfish player in that guild. Like, they're all selfish on the meters, but when it comes to what they provide and bring to the raids, it's unquestioned, it's unmarked. Like, Nope was a mandatory, you had to bring a flask, like, donated to the guild along with what you brought every raid. And that was just used for progression later on.
Warren joined the server.
It may seem like a lot, or it may seem like, this isn't benefiting me.
Warren joined your
but
channel,
it will
Michael
benefit
Fox's
you
Hotbox
because you
Cafe
don't
on the
have to
server.
waste your mats on a wipe because you just helped everybody else basically have what they needed. It will help everyone if we help everyone. Same with leveling.
Yeah, more to come on that. I really do think, I know we've been toying with it for a long time, like having some like requirement, like if you want to keep a raider status or whatever it is, just to help out in the long run.
But if we can do it without a repercussion and people just do it to help the guild, it's so much easier.
Yeah.
I think it was brilliant when we were donating, like during a raid, we were standing in line. It was just funny, but we were all donating 10 gold right there. I was just like, dude, we make like 40 plus doing that raid without wiping, right?
Exactly.
So it's just like, that's nothing. And if we did it as a guild every time we raided it, if that's what we
got
want
its
every week,
strengths
it's
and,
nothing.
Supreme power.
Yeah,
that's the mentality we need to have. Is that exact mentality? Is that it's a little bit, but it adds up. It'll be a huge addition if everyone just willfully donates without us being like, hey, you want to be a raider, you have to donate 35 gold worth of mats a week. Like that's stale. That's cold to me. I want it to be everyone just willfully donate. But then, of course, if it gets to the point where no one's donating, then we'll have to sort of kind of do those things. But if we can just go into Classic with that mentality of let's just make it the best we can be, like, what's mine is yours, we'll be much better off for it. And you guys will see, you'll benefit way more from it.
Getting a large stock of those elemental earths early on really, really helps too, because being able to spam resto pods, and like not just nature pods, resto pods, like really helping next.
King's blood and shit for fire.
We farm all the mats for
like
the priests, robes and mages robes, and pre-farm everything. And then people can just have them immediately. Pre-farm all the stuff required for Bloodvine outside the Bloodvine gear, like outside the Bloodvines itself. Just like really look into the future and stock up early, because the servers are stupid. People will be selling expensive mats for nothing at the beginning, and if we capitalize on that, it's just gonna help us make us the best guild on the server.
Like
hopefully there's a lot.
Couple gold a stack.
Hopefully we're on a server where there's not very many other private server guilds.
That's not that I want to, be like, oh, I'm not going to play out, but that's kind of what's going to happen. Most of the private server streamer people like Alex Sensual and Tips Out and all those people, they'll get their herd. They'll probably announce ahead of time if the server list is announced where they're going, so we'll just veer away from those areas. Not that there's not good competition, it's going to be probably a pretty toxic server.
But we also don't want to end up with a server that...
We want a toxic server, not a toxic server.
Yeah.
There's I'm just gonna try out vanilla and then I'm bouncing.
Yeah, I can also see though, this is me speculating on what Blizzard will do, but I can see if servers start declining in numbers, they'll be quickly merged like they did back in the day with other servers, and if all the servers are launched at the same day, up until AQ40, everything should be at the same timeline. It shouldn't be too hard to just merge servers into each other.
That'd be good. I hope they do that.
It's what they've done in the past, so it's not like I'm making it up. There's precedence for that's what they've done, so it's probably what they would do. But yeah, you're totally right. If it's a dead server, it's not. Who cares if you're the #1 server with no one else playing with you?
Yeah, it's a case of the Chronos.
Yeah.
Come on, lots of people did that. They transferred just to be on the low pop servers, so they were first to 70 or first to 80, first to 90.
It's true. It is true. People that are rushing for first. I can see at least initially Classic being a fairly successful game, but at the start it should be pretty busy, and I'm hoping for a positive in that sense that we can just pick any server and it's not going to be too big of an issue.
Yeah. Speaking of that, the next slide tells a quick snapshot of what time zone everyone's in.
Which is the worst, that it's half and half between the two completely different time zones.
Yeah.
You mind relinking that, Pro?
Oh, it's origami.
Showing up midway through the meeting.
Yeah.
Message sent.
3 losers in Mountain Time.
Work sucks.
It's just stuck up in the mountains playing WoW.
Is to play on Mountain Time.
Yeah, most likely it'll be a central time.
Yeah.
Which, congrats to the central people. You're going to have an amazing ping. We all should have fairly good
Congrats,
pings.
bro.
Yeah. No,
Better than
it's
200.
not going to be 100+ ping no matter where we're playing, most likely. So
I guess if it was in Central, it'd be in Dallas or something, right?
most of their servers are usually located in Chicago, Dallas, Seattle, and I think their West Coast server is Seattle, if I'm not mistaken.
Hey, the next slide has my whale screenshot.
Yeah. Can we get one in Lethbridge?
Because I remember Frostmourne, like their Oceanic servers, they were all just actually West Coast servers until they actually finally got Oceanic servers. But yeah, congrats to the people in Central Mountain Time.
Yeah.
You guys gonna have a good server?
Alright,
what's next? I see
Louisiana with all my
videos.
scrims.
Yeah.
Twitter.
So next slide is our Twitter, which Aniva helped us set up. So thank you, Aniva. And it's pretty cool.
No problem.
He's been like retweeting posts from different games and different really kind of interesting things. It kind of just allows us to be on the roadmap a little bit instead of just through our website. Because a lot more people are socially on Twitter, and if obviously like Reddit would be another big one where people are always browsing.
Always hashtags.
Well, I just want to bring I'm just trying to get followers, pretty much.
What is that? That's not a whale.
Yeah,
That's
it
a
is.
whale
so
on land.
That's the beach with 2 big rocks, and the whale is between the 2 big rocks on land.
Was that the F2 base?
I didn't know it.
And that
I
was the
didn't see
F2
anyone
base.
that had that shape of a face. That is a funky looking whale.
It is a funky looking whale, and it was the second land whale. We killed the first one,
It's
and
a
that
beach.
one was just chilling over on the beach.
If you haven't seen this video that's behind on the right, that's when Aniva, after Nost originally shut down, he lives like what 20 minutes away or 15 minutes away from Blizzard's headquarters.
I at the time I worked 20 minutes away.
Oh, okay. So. But he shows up at their gates and is basically like putting up signs and picketing, and then they invited him in and talked to him for a couple hours about
not a couple hours
or an hour about Nost and about private servers and stuff.
They invited him in and then beat him mercilessly.
Yeah, so you don't know what sort
it's
of
kind
like,
of a big deal.
You don't know what that actually like.
Azuria joined the server.
You know, if it might have just helped.
Azuria joined your channel. Michael Fox's Hotbox Cafe on the server.
That even might be one of the causes of Classic.
Yeah, I brought back Classic WoW.
Yeah,
single-handedly.
Azuria.
Hey, what's up?
You also got
Holy
700 or 800 people fired. Good job.
Yeah.
You know what? They need to learn to code. Or actually, they need to learn to mine.
Did you say something about people getting fired? I thought you said 7 days people getting fired.
Yeah, Azuria needs to fill this out.
But if you do have Twitter, please follow the guild's Twitter. Hopefully I'll be getting texts from Pro in the future when we get guild meetings, and I'll be able to post that stuff on there, and everyone will be able to find out, or raid times and all that stuff that, if you're like, oh well, what's this? You can find out what's going on.
Just a note on that, just so it's not a big surprise to everybody else, it is always the first Wednesday of every month, currently up until Classic, that we will be doing this meeting. So the next one will be April 3rd, which is the Wednesday, followed by May the 1st, so on and so forth, until the game is announced, and then we'll be upping the meetings probably once it's in the last month, just to make sure we got everything ready.
At that point.
Yeah, pretty much. I know it's not listed in any of these things now, but something for the next meeting I would love to talk about would just be like raid times and dates, just to make sure everyone is 100%, set on stone, whatever our dates are going to be. Yeah, raids are going to be now.
I'm assuming they're still going to stick with the Tuesday reset.
That's what I was going to specifically mention, that they do a Tuesday maintenance, and it does affect very little East Coast play, but it can affect late raiding East Coast players such as ourselves, where it could affect the end of our raid when they do their resets.
Message received.
If we happen to be doing anything on those days.
So Monday to Sunday, 6 p.m. to 12 a.m.
Excellent.
If you guys started at 6,
that
that'd
was
be a
the other
lot
thing
better.
I was gonna mention about the raid thing. That is a definite thing, and that we can utilize the things I mentioned prior to about it. But we will be starting off with a 3-day raid schedule from the start. So anybody that was with us from the previous server that we just did, that may not have been accustomed to us raiding 3 days, we will be raiding 3 days. Now, raid does not necessarily mean that we're going to be in an instance. It just means that there's going to be all of us on. Yeah, we will receive DKP or some form of whatever. Most likely it'll be DKP. I don't think we're going to be changing anything like that going into Classic, but you'll be expecting to be on. Attendance will be taken, kind of thing, like we do with our regular raids. And if we're not doing a raid that night, we'll be doing a farm. We'll be doing something that benefits the guild and puts us ahead, whether it means group PvP, if it means that we're going for rank, if it means that we're going to go farm items, if it means that we're going to be doing an instance or something like that, or farming dungeons, or farming, whatever it is, those nights will be used, and they will be mandatory. They will be raid nights. They will be the way it is, and attendance will be gone. And then as raids come in, we will fill those days with the raids as is needed, and then again, it'll be the same thing. So if Monday,
Message
if we're using the
received.
same Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, for instance, if Monday and Wednesday are filled with raids, Thursday is still a night that will be expected to show up, even if there's no raid, that we will do some sort of farming or some sort of content during the raid time. Treat it the same way, and we'll figure out things to do, obviously, on the farming nights. Not everyone is going to be obviously a herbing.
Message
but
received.
things like shutting down Ungoro, PvPing people, making sure that we keep that area locked down so we can farm the area, farming Shadows of Skin or whatever, the Eye of Shadows, and whatever it is that we're doing at the time, we're just going to make sure that whatever facet that we need people to do, we'll cover it, and we'll just make sure that we're utilizing our raid nights effectively. We're also not going to be calling raids early like we were on Northdale. That was just basically a burnt out mentality. That's not going to carry over to Classic. We're going to be doing full raids, utilizing the time. We have one of the shortest raid times of probably any guild I've played with. I rarely have done 3-hour raids. So focusing, staying in for that full time, there should be absolutely no reason you can't do it. So just make sure people know that going forward, of the actual fact that we will be doing 3 nights, and make sure you factor that in coming into Classic and stuff.
Well, they put a link in TeamSpeak that has the other screenshots of the whale.
Do we know for sure what days the raids will be?
Yeah, I mentioned that just previously that we will talk about that at the next meeting, but most likely there'll be the Wednesday, Thursday, Monday that we had been doing previously.
Okay.
Yeah. We haven't done Monday in a long time. Probably a year now or something.
And who knows? Maybe we talk about it and we say we want to get a different day instead of a Monday, or instead of having 3 of your weekdays, you want to do a weekend. If it works out that that's what everybody wants to do, we can talk that out. That's why I want to leave it open. I don't want to set those dates.
Message received.
For me, I've noticed lots of people on Sundays sometimes, or lots of people on Saturdays, and we could definitely utilize an earlier raid or an earlier something if that would work for people. If it free up another day of the week.
We definitely knew we wanted to do an alt raid on the weekend, on a Saturday afternoon or something.
Yeah, we will definitely have to add that into one of the meetings coming up soon, how the alt raid gets structured. But yeah, the alt raid is always done on the weekend. So if people are coming to that, make sure that obviously you know what time it's at. And the biggest thing about the alt raid was just, if you say you were gonna go, make sure you do go. Don't say you're gonna go. Well, obviously we'll have to do some sort of sign up or something early on, but I don't know, it'll be different this time. I really do want every single player to have an alt. I don't expect every player to have an alt, right off the hop. As soon as we hit rating, or you have a 60 alt. But I do expect, or hope, that everyone would have one close to near the end, when it comes into rating, when Blackman layers out, kind of.
What do you
kind
think?
Of a timeline.
I know a lot of people have said, "Hey, I'm gonna have 2 accounts. I want to level my first 2 guys at the same time together." It's obviously going to slow down your leveling to 60.
Not if it's a specific class combination. ASO and I are leveling Warrior Druid, obviously, but our we're gonna 4-box, 2-box together, and we're both gonna have hunters. BM hunters are gonna be the easiest fucking thing to level.
Yeah,
it's not going to slow our roll at all.
You're still splitting.
Bomb leveling one character and then power leveling alts would be faster.
Sure you are.
Overall.
And I still plan, I'll have Samra. Theoretically, GSO's laid off right now, so maybe he will too. I don't know. But, I was planning to still, boost my hunter while he was gone, and then boost our 3 our 3 characters when he got home. That was our original plan.
I don't mind anybody doing it, but yeah, for other people that may not have a system or something, doing 2 characters at the same time might not be as beneficial.
For healers, I would suggest mages, for instance, right? Because you could AoE grind and then also heal your mage up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true.
Just also, be smart about picking your secondary class if you're going to level 2 at once.
To all the people that are still playing some sort of iteration of WoW right now, I highly implore you guys to take a little break and play some other games and just do something else, go outside or whatever. Just don't. I don't want anybody coming into Classic. No, this is not gonna sound like your mom in a second, but I don't want anybody coming into Classic and saying they're burnt out. I don't want anybody coming in and leveling up and be like, I'm feeling burnt out or whatever. I don't want to hear that, because this is the whole point of doing this now and taking the break that we've been taking, is so that you don't get burnt out, so that you can actually re-find that love and the joy or whatever that you get from playing Classic and play to the fullest, and not feel like I'm burnt out, because we're going to expect a lot out of people, and we really want everyone to be on board because this is a really solid guild with a lot of people.
How are you gonna say that before you pitch the 50 times 60 race?
Oh man, I can't wait. Let's do it. 50 times 6. Are we done meeting that?
All right, slide 9 is the final slide, and this is just like
it's in there.
Doing. Yeah, so
the first one.
So one of the kind of fun things, you might think it's stupid, and you don't have to do it if you don't want to, but
that link and make an account.
We're gonna do it right after this meeting just to mess around. We got our server going that's 50 times leveling rate, including exploring. It's kind of fun to see how, and it also like kind of one of those good like tactics for learning how to handle certain classes when you aren't geared, or when you like you might learn something that you never even knew, like, hey, now I know I can do this, or now I know how to do this. So if you want to check it out, our server's always up as well.
It's a lot more fun if we do it all together though.
But yeah, we'll do that after this meeting. Next is Atlas, which is this pirate game we've been playing. It has this basically giant relaunch where everything is respawned. Like everyone starts out at level 1, fresh start. It had a really rocky start like 3 months ago or whatever. It has come a long way. It's kind of fun, and they have a lot like of good stuff planned. So that's gonna be quite a few of us will be trying that, and hopefully it is a lot of fun. But obviously friends make a lot of games fun, so the more friends you have, the better all around it is. We did just launch a Minecraft server if anyone's interested. It is like a heavily modded Minecraft, so there's like a ton of stuff to do. And we also have like a Counter-Strike source server that we made like a week ago.
Yay.
That we're gonna maybe start having like a Friday night, like 5v5 or something fun.
Wow.
Be kind of cool. So look out for more information on that if you like Source, which I'm pretty sure most of us do.
I will be talking. God damn it, Michael joined the server. God damn it, Michael switched channel to GSO's Apex Masochism Shack on the server.
And then finally, we got like our plan for next month. If you have anything to chime in to, please do. But at the moment, we want to talk about probably our priorities, make sure they're
God damn it, Michael joined your channel. Michael Fox's Hotbox Cafe on the server.
The current patch, aka like when Classic comes out, it'll be like, here's the Molten Core patch, then here's Blackwing Lair, ZG, and everything that encompasses it as one patch. Then AQ is all one patch, and then Nax is all one patch. So we kind of want to like touch base, like should we prioritize this item to these classes? Like a prime example is like the Warlock thing. Like Warlocks, at least on all these private servers, have always been super hit deprived, and like their DPS struggles because of it. Whereas mages, like, there's a lot of workarounds they can do. They have it built into their spec and things. So we might want to like take a hard look at that, assuming that we know what it's going to be, and it's going to be the same as what we've seen these past years. It's a pretty big assumption.
Lep was hit capped.
And I think it was a man said something about the professions. Yeah, that's what we want to do. We'll do that next month. We'll get a list of everyone's professions they want to do, and just so we have our bases covered for the kind of weird ones, like you need to have like a blacksmith in every raid just in case that pattern from MC drops and things like that. So we need to make sure. I know most of us will probably be doing like some sort of farming profession. I would highly suggest you have an herbalist. If you don't have access to one, you really should. And then the last thing that I wanted to do next month is, since Classic is coming, we know obviously leveling and doing dungeons with friends and stuff is probably going solo is one thing, like that's great, but also like part of it is, hey, you still need to have fun. So finding people that fit your schedule like to a T or really close would be perfect to say, hey, maybe we'll play together since we get off work at the same time. We can play at the same time. We go to sleep at the same time. So that's all that I had. Any questions or comments?
Well, I'm glad you brought up the blacksmithing part. My other question is, if we get enough materials to get an item made, but it requires MC loot, or not loot, but like cores and whatnot, will we have access to those?
Cores will always be provided, like assuming that you're not like abusing it. Like I know for the only abuse that the only like quote unquote abuse I could see, it's not really abuse, is like your warlock, you want 4 bags, but it costs 30 cores. Like that's not something we could just hand out like super easy, because we can give out like 5 or 10 here or 5 or 10 there, but we still do need especially early on, we need a big chunk for the dark iron gear. That's going to be extremely important, probably in classic as it was back in the day, and things like that. And no one's really sure exactly how that's going to work. Like, back then, all of us had a certain amount of fire resist. We all had to have, like, pretty much if you wanted to survive on rag, you had to have like 120 on buffed or something minimum.
Yeah.
Like, are we sure that's how it's going to work? Like,
no,
is our private
servers
servers different where
like,
melee don't need fire resist, but are they going to? Like, I don't know. I played casters and healers back then.
Well, that's going to be the beauty of it, and that's why we're 100% open to sharing the mass. That's what I was trying to get at before. Like that was the point of like the system of everyone just giving back. There's no, if the guild is being funded by all the mats, we don't need so much like to just straight up have that material, because we could then buy it if we really needed. If we needed like a couple cores or something, if we didn't have them, we could buy them, because we would be so stocked up from earlier on. We'd be so set, and we're probably going to make friends with other guilds as well, and there's going to be some sort of system like we had with me figuring out people that had certain patterns and allow us to trade like enchants for their crafting and whatever, and we'll have the same thing.
Yeah. And we also like the alt run. We've only really ever done that on NOS, but it worked so well, and it helped like fund the guild bank so much, like with all the cores. I think at that point we had all the BOEs basically being sold like for that. Now it might be different if we're all actually playing, or most of us are actually in the alt raid.
But it isn't at the same time, because like 2 times the cores, like our alts don't really need that stuff right away, because when we have progression, we're probably not gonna hop on the alts unless we, everyone's like, yeah, I want to do alt raid this week or whatever, and do Black and Layer again or something.
Yeah, we might still like have like all the BOEs. You might still be able to just buy them instead of like just get them for free. Like maybe like 25% of the going rate.
75%.
In the alt raid, like the guild, like when we went into AQ40. We provided everything in AQ40 pretty much. People brought some flasks and stuff, but I think we even had flasks stocked up too. But we had consumables, pods, all the resist and everything that we just used from Aniva and a few other like barbecue and Verity and people like that who were selling enchants for us. And people that were the alt raid made us thousands of gold from just selling items and stuff all the time. So like those things alone, like we'll be a wealthy guild and everyone will benefit from it. Like that's the main goal, and we there should be nothing that everyone doesn't need, as long as for the main, of course. Like alts are probably going to be a little bit more time, I guess, before we just dump everything into the alts. But who knows if it's just working out that well. Depends on how the economy goes. Depends how the bosses work out. We don't know anything yet until we see it. But I don't think, I don't know. The mangoes can't be too far off, I don't think, on how some of the bosses work. But who knows? We might go in there and a lot of the bosses may be different than we've ever seen them. We may need all this resistance that we never needed before things might be working. I know RAG is wrong on like every private server. Like there should be damage all the time. That people should actually need fire resistance. And, like from what I remember from doing it and from what I've seen on videos too, and looking at the gear that they're wearing in old like 2005, like 2004 videos. So who knows? If they do a PTI,
Firemaw's
that'd be
been
cool.
wrong.
Which one?
Firemaw.
Oh yeah, like the Mangoes people will admit that like they didn't script it perfectly. They didn't know how some of things worked. They just made things up.
Message received.
Yeah, there's plenty of like, hey, I don't know if this should be 50% or 30% or if it's even a percent, if it's like some other formula. What the hell?
Yeah, so no matter how, like, that was the one thing that I was positive for me, is no matter what they ruin when it comes to loot trading or phasing or whatever, if they make all the bosses work the way that they're supposed to work back in original WoW, I think for me, that's huge. That's like the biggest thing for me in the game. Obviously, if all the other quests work properly, everything else works, that's really cool too. But if all the raid bosses are just the way they're supposed to be, I don't know. That's pretty much what we've been going for this whole time in the other servers. So I'm hoping for some different stuff. I'm honestly hoping to see a lot of different things. I'm hoping to see more difficulty in some of the raids where you actually need to bring stuff.
Message received.
Because if not, Molten Core, we're going to be just farming stuff. Did you link it as the sheet?
Yeah. But here's our
Message sent. An evil left your channel and switched to Rocket League on the server.
of everything that we want to like kind of gather.
And Eva joined your channel Michael Fox's Hotbox
Right,
Cafe
so
on the
if there's
server.
Any other questions? I think that's pretty much the end of this meeting. And if people want to stick around for the 50 times 60 explanation, if you're interested, by all means. And if not, there's no other questions.
No, cheers. See you guys
Don't want to hear about the 50 times 60, man? Oh, man.
Fuck no. I already told you. I've been playing my fucking beginning characters like so many times. Just get I plan on getting my warrior to level 20 in probably 8 to 10 hours. So.
I bet you'd die before level 20 and 50 times 60.
I'll probably die a couple times, but.
Alright. Well, have a great night. It's good seeing you.
Yeah. Till next time, boys and girls.
Nova in your channel Michael Fox's Hotbox Cafe timed out from the server. Mon disconnected from your channel Michael Fox's Hotbox Cafe from the server.
Yeah, he was voted class leader tonight, I think.
Yeah, let's
Is there anybody interested?
Let's get this fun
Being a
started.
class leader, can I be a class leader of the Shadow Priests?